Okay. Okay, so the exciting question for the day is when I go into present, does it present? Are you seeing this full screen?
No.
No.
You're not even sharing the screen. Like, we're not seeing a screen.
We're jumping the gun. Let's get into here. All right, now we're somewhere where we can ask our exciting question. Okay, so now are you seeing full screen?
Yes.
Yes, it's full screen.
Thank God for small mercies. Okay, so we are going to do our warm-up actually on the presentation. So you might want to open up your presentation. Today we are doing in Unit 2, Lesson 2, Building a Network, and Lesson 3, Need for Addressing. Where is my... Okay, hang on. Catch that last student. Okay, so the one thing that you're going to need to turn in is your Unit 2 LO3 worksheet. And I'm going to need everyone to check that they can get their worksheets because we've been having some real problems with this. We may not even get through the Lesson 3, so we'll get as far as we can and see where we are at the end. The goal is that you will be able to identify the path or paths connecting two devices in a simulated network. Explain how computing devices can be connected to form a network. Explain the need for an open and shared protocols for communicating on the internet, and describe the way the internet protocol helps uniquely identify one another on the internet. Okay, so all those things are going to be in our day. So we've got a fair amount to accomplish. Oh, hold on, there's Eric Chen. Almost everyone. There. Welcome, Eric. Great. So here we are, Unit 2, Lesson 2, Building a Network. This is our warm-up. You're going to put your answers in this next sheet here. Hopefully you have access to it. We've been having a little problem with that too. If you do not have access to this sheet, you can drop it in the chat. Now I've got everybody. Okay, so no, I want to be here. In the previous lesson, last week, we explored the internet simulator, where each of you were connected to one other person by a single wire. What are the potential problems with this setup, where there are two people only connected by one wire? What are potential problems with that setup? You can put your answers here in the prompt, or you can put them in the chat. Don't have access to what, this?
Okay, so for the slide, you can access on your personal account, but not on your school account.
That is so weird. Okay, so just put them in the chat. If the wire fails, then come on, Dakota, finish that thought. So, okay, as a team, if one of the problems, look, with a system with two people and one wire is that the wire can fail. What happens if the wire fails? When the wire fails, they won't be able to respond. Beautiful. Won't be able to communicate anymore. What are other problems with a system like two people in one wire? If they're both trying to communicate, the message won't go through. The message only goes one way and then the other way. What else? Are you going to get bored in life only talking to one other person? I can't talk to others. Thank you, Audrey. So your system can get broken very easily with only one wire. There's no backup. There's no emergency plan. You can only talk to one other person as long as the wire is good. So this is a very limited system. It's basically what we're trying to get to. All right. So now I need you to check. Hang on. I'm getting out of here. That you can download the U2L3 worksheet and that you can make it work, and that you can download the U2L2 worksheet, which is not that one because that one's filled. Can you get both worksheets?
I can get the U2L3.
Okay, what about the U2L2?
That one works.
Okay, does everybody have a U2L2 and a U2L3 worksheet?
No.
Okay, I need you to access that right now and make sure that they work because we've had trouble with this. This is what the L3 looks like. L2 is a series of Google slides. Okay, so here, let me go back in the presentation.
It says that I couldn't find valid settings for this link.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the group
Let
slides
me-
works, but the other one doesn't.
This is something that we've had issues with. So I'm going to make this MCPS link. Anyone can edit it. So this is U2L02. Okay. Try downloading that and see if you can edit it. It
The
should,
slides is fine for
I
me.
can't even
I just
get-
can't access the worksheet.
that is the worksheet.
I can't get access to the group challenge.
What's the group? Don't worry about the group challenge. I'm just asking you if you can get your two worksheets.
No, I can't. U2L2 is like, it just takes me to this Google form thing.
So hang on. So if you click on this link, the link in the chat that I just gave you, it should take you to a series of Google slides. Oh gosh, look at that. And that's got the answers on
You didn't send a link into the chat.
Yeah.
it. Oh, I know who I did. I sent it privately. All right, well, don't worry. The link I sent was bad anyway. Oh, this is annoying. Hang on. Ugh. File, make copy of. Okay. Now, we're making it Montgomery County. Hang on, it's gonna happen. U2 LO2 link. Try that.
It works.
Yay. Okay. So what this is going to be asking you, you have guidelines for the challenge. Only 2 people can be connected by a single line. You can be connected to multiple people at the same time via multiple lines. It's so weird. Why this slide is in the wrong place. Okay, so we have 3 guidelines we need to, so the idea is only 2 people can be connected by a single line. You can be connected to multiple people at the same time via multiple lines. You're going to take into account, guideline 1 is lines cost money, so try and use the least number of lines. Guideline 2, lines may be cut, which might disconnect people from the network. Guideline 3, direct connections are faster than long paths with indirect connections. So here, okay. Sorry about that. So this is what we have. I'm going to be splitting us up into groups of 5, hopefully. It might be 4, but look at it as 5. You're trying to figure out what are the best paths. You can use this little line simulator right here. You click on that, and then I can draw a line across. Okay? So those are our guidelines. So, all right. So I am going to put us into breakout rooms. Hang on. Let's get to breakout rooms. I think we want 4 to 5. So remember who's in your breakout room with you. Okay? This is not to be turned in. You're trying to make the best path between everybody with the fewest lines you can. What's the optimal? All right? We're going to give you about 5 minutes to figure this out. All right? Okay, guys. Peter, Eric, Ethan, can I help you? Is there a reason you're not in your rooms?
Sorry, I was grabbing something. I'm here, but
Okay. Just try and get into your breakout rooms. Ethan, Eric? Ethan, Eric, up there's Ethan. You in there? Ethan. Ethan, you there?
Mr. Swift, you're on mute.
Why is it so random? Thank you. So just saying, was everybody able to make a network?
Yes.
So can somebody show me their network? Or actually, well, so I'm looking down. See this one did not follow instructions. They can't meet in the middle. It's one string can go from one person to another. The strings do not have a locus in the center. Ooh, look, that's an interesting one. So what is this doing technically? Can you see? Anybody have an idea? Technically, this is the same as the same line pattern. It goes A, B, C, E, D, A. It could be going A, B, C, D, E around the outside, that if you flip B over, you would have all of our points on the outside of the circle and they're all connected. What's special about that arrangement? Okay, guys. Oh, look, this is without any of our parameters, without guidelines 1, 2, or 3, this is the best way. You've got the most straight lines between everyone, etc., but it's expensive. You've got all these extra lines and all the lines cost money. So you have what, 5 extra lines. Well, I won't, since we're not turning this in, what I was trying to explain with the last one is this idea. So that last one could be represented as this. What is special about this arrangement in terms of our network? Okay, somebody's got to be brave. I'll start calling on people.
Each person only has one line of communication to another person.
But they can talk to who?
Two different people.
They can talk to everybody. They can talk to every single person on that thing. It will take longer for C to talk to B or to talk to D because they've got to go through somebody. But all those people are connected on a line. Okay, so A can talk to D, E can talk to B, B can talk to C, not a problem. What happens if one of the lines is broken?
It takes longer to communicate from, let's say, if the line between D and E is broken, it takes longer to get for D to communicate with E or C.
Right, right. But what is being preserved?
Communication between everyone.
Everybody is still able to communicate, even if you break a line in this system. So the ultimate system where everyone can talk to each other for the least amount of cost is this one. The idea that that just loses one more line and that's a cost for us. So A can talk to C, but it's got to go through B, D, and E. All right? Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So that is the fundamental that we're trying to learn off this lesson. Thank goodness we don't have to turn it in or anything. Okay, let's try this. Get rid of some answers. And ask you, thinking about our 3 guidelines, what is the strength of the network your group created? This is going back to your whatever you created. What is a strength of the network that your group created? Come on, this shouldn't be hard. Just think up what's a strength.
Are we typing these or just saying them?
You can say them, you can type them into the chat. It's in theory, each group made 1. So what would be a strength of the network that you created in your group?
For my group, even though there are more lines, it was like faster connection.
Okay, so that their group, they still like the idea of fast over cheap. So their idea was to keep people, more interconnected. And a weakness of that group would be what?
The cost.
The cost, exactly. There's a thing called the good, fast, cheap pyramid, which is very fun. Good, fast, and cheap are 3 points of a pyramid. You can have 2, but you can't have 3. You can have good and fast, it won't be cheap. You can have fast and cheap, it won't be good. You can have good and cheap, it won't be fast. It's a really interesting dynamic that you'll see. So anybody else with a strength or a weakness of your network that you created? So like another strength of that multiple connection network is you can break lines. Lines can get broken and people are still going to stay connected. It might not be quite as fast, but they'll still be connected. What are weaknesses? Weaknesses are, in that final one, the cheapest one, if any one of those lines breaks, the group will not all be connected. That's why the one where everything is connected is nice. Okay, let's get back to where we belong. Okay, these are vocabulary words that you may need for your AP, so pay attention to them. You might want to copy the slide. A computing device is a machine, that can run a program, including, now, if I share, I think this goes, if I present. Are you seeing full screen?
Yes.
All right, computing device, a machine that can run a program, including computers, tablets, servers, routers, smart sensor. We are going from smallest to largest here. Computing device is the basic piece. A computer, a tablet, a phone, a router. A computing system, a group of computing devices and programs working together for a common purpose, to solve some calculation. A computing network, a group of interconnected computing devices capable of sending or receiving data. So that seems to be the big difference between a computing network and a computing system. A system cannot send or receive data. A network can. The path. The path is the series of connections between computing devices on a network, starting with a sender and ending with a receiver. The path is the way that you get to your receiver. Bandwidth, the maximum amount of data that can be sent in a fixed amount of time. Usually measured in bits per second or megabits per second. So when I test my speed on my computer, which has been terrible today, I get a measurement. I actually got 0.15 megabits per second. So I'm getting 150 bits per second. Not great. And my Zoom crashed. All right, so just remember these. Computing device is the individual. It's a machine that can run a program. Computing system is a group of computing devices and programs working together for a common purpose. A network, computing network, a group of interconnected computing devices capable of sending or receiving data. The path is the series of connections between computing devices on a network, starting with the sender, ending with the receiver. What path does your message take? Bandwidth is the maximum amount of data that can be sent in a fixed amount of time, usually measured in bits per second. All right, how would you use these words to describe the string activity? Okay, computing device, computing system, computing network, path, and bandwidth. Can someone either in the chat or unmute describe what we did using these terms? Or what's one thing that we definitely worked with in our string system?
Creating a computing network?
We certainly were creating a computing network. And in order to do that, what did we need to be working with?
So the letters,
what's that?
Letters were the computing devices and the lines were the paths, I think.
Correct. So we had 5 computing devices. We created paths with them to establish a computing network that was sending messages back and forth. It was sending and receiving data. Bandwidth would only come into play here if, say, we have that one that's missing a line. The idea that A could talk to E quicker if they had high bandwidth. Bandwidth is about how much you can send per second, how much you can push out the door. So high bandwidth means you can send a lot of information. Okay, so now we're getting into fabulous lesson 2. The need for addressing. We're sending messages, but we need to address. Imagine you were in a room with 5 other people, all with the same name as you. What might happen when you start communicating? Go ahead and put these in the chat. What would happen when you start communicating in a room with 5 people with the same name? Someone's got to be brave or we're never going to get through. Am I not seeing things that are in the chat? Oh, look, that's because I'm on the wrong end of the chat. That would make sense. It would be confusing to figure out who is saying what. Confusion. The names would appear identical. Everyone would turn their heads. That's why I'm a Bill and my son is William. No one would know who is talking to who. Dogs and cats are living together. No, that's not in. No specifications on who's who. There is no perfect cohesion between them. Basically, confusion and chaos. Great chat comments. That is just what we wanted you to say. Okay, so now we need our activity guide. Our U2 L3 activity guide. All you're going to, for one, you need to write down everybody's screen name that's in your group. If we can make it to the internet widget, you're going to be going into the widget, and then you're going to need to find your teammates inside the widget. So you need to write down all your teammates' names. Make sure you know who is in your breakout room. I don't think that's someone talking to us. If you are in a group of 5, everyone crosses out Sunday. If you are in a group of 4, everyone crosses out Sunday and Saturday. Before starting to schedule each week, we're going to do this a couple times. Right now, we are just working on week 1. Choose a random day of the week when you are busy and cross it out. Gather your classmates' screen names and fill them in the table below so that you'll be able to do it when you get to the simulator. During the activity, talk with your group about to fill in your schedule. For week 1, for what we're doing right now, you can speak out loud. Once we get done with week 1, you're going to have to work through the internet simulator, and you're not going to be able to talk to each other. So pay attention while you're talking about how you're making these decisions. What are the rules you need to have everyone get an interview with somebody on each day? So let's say I'm in this group and I have 4 people. I'm going to get rid of Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to say my day off is Wednesday. I need to set up a meeting with all the other people in my room on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. So I need to figure out how I'm going to get that done. Okay? Saturday and Sunday are taken, and Wednesday. Okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going into our breakout rooms. You're going to have about, I'm going to make it 7 minutes because people have really been having a tough time with this. So we will come out at 2:24. Okay, is everybody ready? All right. In you go. You're going to make a schedule where if it's 5 people, you cross out Saturday and Sunday. If it's 4, you cross out Saturday and Sunday. If it's 5, you cross out Sunday, right? 4 Saturday and Sunday. Then you cross out one day that's your day off. You need to make a meeting with everyone else in your group. Everyone needs to meet with each person in their group on one day. You can only meet one person on one day. See if this all makes sense. We're going in. Okay. Dakota, are you okay? Eric, Dakota? Eric, Dakota, Eric, can I help you?
Again, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Muted.
Thank you. Did everyone get done? Or did everyone get close to done?
No,
No.
not at all.
No.
No,
We
not
had
enough
tech
time at
issues.
all.
What are the problems that you're having?
People getting in.
Some people can't
Accessing
even
everything.
find their U2 like L3 document.
Also, it just
Okay.
takes more time than what's been given to get it done.
No problem. So let me say, all right, just so that you know, if for some reason you're having a problem with your U2L3 worksheet, I have it in the chat. It is here. All right. So what do you think? 5 more minutes and you'll get it figured out?
No.
Maybe a little more than 5.
Wait, how many weeks do we have to do? Is it just for the first and second?
You're just doing 1 week. You got 5 people in a room and you need to figure out who you're going to meet with every day. It's like, do it alphabetically. You need to think up rules, because put it this way, if you think it's hard now when you all can talk to each other, you're going to be on the internet simulator next, and you're going to be able to talk, but only through messaging, not verbally. So try and think of, isn't there a system where the person with the highest letter in the lowest letter in their name is going to go with the next person and the next person and the next person down. Once you've got that, that should give you a template that gets everybody. But just think about it. Let's spend another 7 minutes. So you're going to come out at 32. Okay? See what happens. Is everybody good? Any questions? We're just doing the week 1. All right, in you go.
I was in group 7, I think.
You're muted again, Mr. Swift.
You'd think I'd learn. How did that go?
Much better.
Okay. What is working for you in setting up these meetings?
One person figuring out all of theirs and then the next person figuring out theirs and going through similar to that.
Okay, so think of that when we get into the simulator. That seems like a technique that might be able to work when you can't talk to each other. That's going to be the big issue. One thing I just want to make sure of before we hit the end of class, as far as I know, Julie Fong was not here for the test last Thursday.
That's correct.
So she needs to retake it. Did anybody else have any problems, miss the test, or have issues with not being able to go backwards? So Julie, you're the only one scheduled for period 4 for your test. Is that right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody is okay with that? I think we have almost everyone in class, so I think that's great. So Julie, just like I said, just sign in on Wednesday to the period 4 with our Zoom link. I'll get you the test. It's got a timer on it. You can finish on your own.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see what I'd like to do. We have about 5 minutes left. So the next piece of this is that you are going to go to the internet simulator on code.org. And this is a good way to tell whether you're in my section or not. You guys are section 4, and you are supposed to be I know, I'll put this, it's not going to work. WKMBHW. Where is the crazy chat? When you go in here, it might say that you only have people that aren't in your class available. That is because for some reason you are in the wrong section. Make sure you are in P4 Mr. Swift. He could only spell his own name. Our access code is WKMBHW. Okay, so we are going to go to code.org. We're going to fabulouscode.org, which I swear is down here or something. No. Why can't I get to code.org? All right. Code.org. I am going to Unit 2. And I am going to look. We are not building a network. Now we are needing to address. So you're going to go to this internet simulator, need to address. This is the reason that you wrote down everybody's code.org name on your form, so that when you all are inside the widget, you can get together as a group. You can try that right now. Pick your section. We are period 4. Join the section and see if you can link up with your group. If you can get started with the idea that you need to create that schedule through the widget. And the idea is you can't use the same days you already created. And another thing that people are saying is that it doesn't really make sense that 5 days you only take off, that with 4 days, you should be taking off 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. With 5 days, you should be taking off Saturday and Sunday, because otherwise you're having to set up a meeting with yourself. Setting up a meeting with yourself is fine, or you can make, another day embargo.
I have a problem with this. It says for some reason that I'm already in the room twice, but it's full, so it's not allowing me back into the room.
Interesting. Now, who's this?
Olivia.
Olivia. Hang on.
It should be room number 4 if you're looking for the room.
Right. Hang on.
I don't have any other tabs open, by the way. It's just the one code.org tab.
No, but is somebody else signed up as you?
Well, there's 2.
So yeah, it's.
So that wouldn't really make sense.
Well, it can be in the idea that it's just like a keystroke. So hang on. So Olivia. So yeah, you're in there twice. How can that be?
Well, I'm not in there at all currently. It's not letting me in because it has the max amount of people.
I know, but it's just strange that it thinks you're in there twice.
Here, Olivia, there's an extra room, room 8. Could you possibly ask your teammates or whatever to join that room?
Here, hang on.
Uh,
Interesting.
So if Grace, Ben, Nicole, and Dakota, if they mind refreshing their page to join the room again, we might want to do that.
Can they hear you from out here? I don't think they can. Oh, I know what I can do. I swear there was a way to message the rooms. What in the world is that? I'm going to try this. Room 4. Oh, help, class is over.
Where are we going into the breakout room?
That's where you were supposed to go.
Wait, class is over though.
Wait, class is
Oh,
over?
yes, class is over.
Okay.
So hang on, I think everyone's out. Class is over. We're going to do this again next class.
So
So
don't turn anything in?
nothing's getting turned in, nothing's getting finished. All I wanted was for you guys to at least have had that experience. Nobody else has made it this far to get into the room. So we need to figure out something's wrong with Olivia's, and basically we'll come back and we'll do this whole thing, we'll do the last two fully again and then turn in the sheet. But at least you've had an experience of this and we'll be ready for next class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions, problems? Dakota, so good to see you.
Oh yeah, I think the problem is that like it was really weird and it happened to me on the last widget, but every time you open up a tab, they count that as a person. So even though you close the tab, you still quote unquote remain in that like room or lobby or whatever.
Oh, okay, because what was weird was it had Olivia signed in twice.
Yeah, so she probably like closed it, opened another one, and then that counts her as two people.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out.
All right, thank you.
Beautiful. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye.